Now that we've added a bit of smoothness and light to the skin, one of the things that we might want to do is add a bit of mid-tone contrast or kind of a bit of snap or punch back into the photograph. To do that, let's merge all of our underlying layers to the topmost layer. Here we'll press our shortcut. You remember this one, right? To merge the top, it's Shift Option Command E on a Mac, Shift Alt Control E on Windows, and let's call this layer Snap. Now if I zoom in a little bit, we'll be able to see this even better. What we're going to do is navigate to our filter pull down menu. Then we're going to choose sharpen and unsharp mask. This will open up the unsharp mask dialog. Now typically how we use this dialog is we increase the amount and we have a low radius. Well, what we're going to do is take our amount all the way down and our radius all the way up. And what's interesting about this is we can then incrementally bring up our amount in order to bring up some really interesting mid-tone type of contrast. Now the further we go, the more contrast we'll have. And it's a really nice type of contrast. It doesn't overdo things, of course, unless we have too high of a number. So here with this image, let's go ahead and click on this and look at the face. There's that before and after. We can see there's more dimension there in the face. Let's bring this up even a little bit further and leave the threshold down to 0 and click OK. Well, now we have it. There's that before and then the after. Just some interesting, nice contrast or dimension to the photograph. If you see an undesirable color shift here, take this to a blending mode of luminosity. That will then remove that color shift. Also, if there are a few areas where it's gone too far, like your blacks are too black, we'll double click the layer and do some advanced blending. Here, notice that as I bring this up, we'll be able to see more and more detail here in the eyes. You can see that it's brought back that detail there in those darker shadows. What you want to do is bring it up to where you have the detail you need. Then hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on Windows, and split these sliders. The splitting of the sliders will create a nice transition. There's before and then after, just bringing back a little bit into this area. Now this is tricky, of course, because you don't want to go too far with this, but you may want to bring back just a little bit of detail. All right, well, let's click OK. Here we have before and then after. If there still are some problem areas, go ahead and click on the Add Layer Mask icon, grab your brush, and then paint those away. And in my opinion, I think that this area is still a little bit too problematic. I like the contrast. I just don't want my eyes to get that dark. If anything, I'm going to want to brighten that color up there in the makeup. I'm also going to want to brighten up the eyes. Let's bring up the eyebrows too here and just look for any other areas that might benefit from this. Lowering the opacity, we'll just paint in some of the blacks over here as well, just so we don't lose all of that detail over there. Okay, we'll zoom out, and if there are any other areas that might benefit from this, go ahead and mask that effect out. But for the most part, this will give this image this really nice snap. All right, well, now that we've added this snap, let's start to work on color, and we'll do that in the next movie.